And even when you're like well prepared. Okay, here we go. Ta-da! I don't know if we can see the chat. Hopefully they can hear us. Good morning, everybody. I'm just trying to make sure. Yes, it looks like everything is turned on today. If you can't hear us, let us know, obviously. And remember, there's many of you and 2 of us. Oh, and now everyone's favorite part, where I unzip like 10 project bags in a row.
Morning, everybody.
Oh, good
I'm
morning.
back.
Thank God. A dose of sanity at last. Goodness.
Now, it's a beautiful day in Christchurch. Well, it's a bit fresh,
Well, yeah,
I have
okay.
to say.
Thank you. I'm glad that we acknowledged
Yeah,
that.
it's a wee bit fresh.
It is.
So don't worry
brisk.
with me putting this on. I haven't gone to the dark side already.
Yes.
So, are we? Yes,
Oh,
everybody's
perfect.
here and they
Yes,
can hear us.
and they
Great.
can hear us. It's a miracle. Good morning, everybody from all over. Yes. Oh my God! And I don't think I dropped anything out of my bag, despite not closing it properly. Well, I did drop this. I won't lie, but I found it and went back for it before like the moment got out of hand.
Oh my God. I mean, that would just be your worst nightmare, leaving your knitting behind somewhere or losing it or doing something. It's bad enough losing a needle, let alone a whole bag.
Honestly.
But
Okay, well, I've socked in it while we're on camera.
and
Well,
I've
you
got to
start.
a complicated.
Oh.
The reason I'm re-knitting Kame, K-A-M-E, because Ethan doesn't put my projects up in the talk at
Oh
the
my
chat.
God, I'm sorry. I don't have anything
I
up in
have
the
these
chat.
cheat sheets where I've had to write everything out for the front because it's a very enjoyable knit. Don't let me put you off, but it challenges you with the front. So the front, I've got the V-neck already, and this is knitting up to go around for the stand-up collar. All will be revealed when it's knitted together. So
Magic of seaming.
you're increasing along the neckline because there's a lovely little facing. The details in this top are gorgeous. So there's a little facing that folds back. So you're increasing up one side, increasing on the other, and then you have to start decreasing. And like one side's every 6th row, one's every 4th row, and it's like, oh my God. So I've done a cheat sheet. So this is the 3rd time I've used it. With the number of stitches I have to have on each side. So,
I think apparently we're starting to call them stitch maps.
oh, right.
And apparently
okay.
some designers, including myself occasionally, I have actually put them into a couple of patterns now.
So, yeah.
Thanks to you guys.
I'm now up to, I think, row 43. So that's fine. So it's really enjoyable.
It looks beautiful.
You've just got to have your game face on when you're knitting it. So I don't know how much I'm going to get done here this morning in this break because I'll probably have to rip it back because I've made a mistake. So it might be easier if I just sort of park it, really.
Okay.
Because I've had to rip back a few wee bits where I got a bit excited and ahead of myself. But it's a dream to rip back because you get to re-knit it, and don't we all love that? Isn't that the reason why we knit? Because we love knitting.
30. Well, oh.
So as long
I
as you're
really
not
just
ripping
like
back
the
cable and
stuff.
trying to pick up cabling.
Yeah, I think honestly, I'm really just in it for the stuff. Like, I think that's my problem.
Oh, right. Well, I'm in it because I love the yarn and I love knitting.
love the yarn.
Yeah.
I do, I must say, I'm definitely into the yarn.
Yes.
Speaking of which, you have been having a great time with this and it's your first time working with it. So
yes.
tell the people, because like I think sometimes it's hard to believe Ethan. So tell the people about the yarn and what you think about it.
Okay, this is Brooklyn Tweed Loft. And it's just gorgeous because it's not a solid colour. It may look like a solid colour, and actually your descriptions on the website are really good.
Oh, they're the Brooklyn Tweed description.
Right,
I must
so
say.
they tell you what the background is, and it says with hints because it's not really speckled like we know speckled, but it's just hints of colour in it.
It has a heathered tweed texture to it, so like a woven tweed fabric, but honestly, all you have to do is knit stockinette and you produce something completely fabulous.
And it's like people are looking as I'm knitting this and going, gosh, what's that yarn? And so, you know, I tell them.
We do have some colors in stock at the moment. So this is Nest, and then this one's Blanket Fort, and this guy's Snowbound.
Yeah.
Christine is knitting with the classic Hayloft.
Yeah.
And it is stunning.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah. And it's so easy to join. I was saying to Ethan, I've got no ends to weave in except where I've cast on.
Yeah.
Because you do the spit splicing and it's a dream. and I think I said it once before, I've done spit splicing before, and mine's just basic, get the two ends, rub it together. But you don't get those slugs in the back of your knitting, so I've got no idea where I have joined the previous ball.
It's a really beautifully airy woolen spun yarn as well, and because of that, even though the wool that's in it isn't especially fine micron-wise, it has a soft hand feel and finish texture. More like a spongy velvet, less like a smooshy, like fluffy merino. If you know it, if you're a New Zealand knitter and you're used to soft, thinking like fluffy, local, low process merino, which can be super beautiful. It's not that. It's a different sort of soft. I think it's kind of confusing.
Yes, it is, and it's got, dare I say, just like a little bit of guts to it. Yeah. So because the pattern Kame's got like a stand-up collar at the back, you really need something. You can't use something that's going to, well, you could use something, but it's going to flop. It'll be a totally different look.
Totally disastrous.
Yeah. So.
I think, honestly, like a floppy collar, like, it's not a good look. Like,
well, in some things it is, you know, if you're looking for that sort of...
No, I think if you, like a cowl sort of situation, like that sort of floppy collar, I think is significantly different to if you would have something with a, like lapel sort of structure like yours has. Even the way that the shawl collar on this, and this is in Rebel, stands up at the back is still quite lovely, because what are you wearing?
Okay,
Because I don't ever remember to tell people about your
this is a Stranger cardigan, and it's knit, well, it's sort of knit flat for the first bit. I'll stand up, and it's got all this cabling, and you can wear it this way, which is what I call my Starsky and Hutch look, and so, for those of you old enough, so it's got the beautiful cabling, but then this is where I do my Dunedin ID catwalk look. So then you flip it, so that's the Starsky and Hutch, which I think is more casual. You flip it upside down, and she says,
it's so cool.
Then this is what I call the elegant look.
Yeah,
because
and it totally transforms
transforms it. You get like a cropped cardigan with the cabling all around the bottom, and nobody thinks you've knitted that because nobody puts cables around the bottom. And you've just got to be good with your mattress sewing up here, and you've got this classic look, which I wear to work, fabulous. And it's like, I'm there.
So this is the Stranger cardigan by Michio?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good.
And so I was looking up my Ravelry notes.
You had a journey with this one.
Yeah, I know. I got gauge on my swatch. I always get gauge on my swatch, and then when I go to knit the garment, it's like, oh, well, that goes to hell in a handcart. So you knit the cable part first. So you've got this huge long piece of cable, and then you have to pick up the stitches and knit just the stockinette at the back, and then you do the sleeves. And I put in my notes, I don't know why anybody likes knitting in the round. This weighs, half a ton, and I'm dragging it round trying to do the stocking stitch. It's like pieces is just weight training.
I'm there with you. So I have many projects, as Christine can see. I'm just kind of churning through some knitting at the moment. And I'm doing a little bit of a turnabout until I'm ready to cast on something.
Right.
I don't know if the rest of you ever do this. Like, do you just work through your whips in little bits until you get back to what you're ready to cast on? Good morning. Oh my goodness, it's so fun seeing people online now. So I'm working on a sock at the moment because we're sitting here talking, and the other things that I have on the go require some level of...
super fluffy and very cozy.
What
are you knitting it in?
What am I knitting it in? I'm using the Isayer sock in my favorite color, 44, because I can't believe this. I want to point out this is not a fault of the sock yarn. I did something without thinking. You know how every so often we have unpredictable weather in New Zealand? And sometimes you just can't take your clothes out of the washing machine, it turns out. Because drying your clothes inside in the winter is one way to ruin your windowsills. So they have to go outside, even in the winter, right?
Yep.
Perfect. So the problem is that happens every so often, but if you have a lot of machine washable hand knit socks, like I do, sometimes you have your machine washable hand knit socks in the wash.
Right.
And you do the rewash once or twice every so often, and the socks never dry. And no matter how machine washable they are, after 3 wet washes in a row, they felt. So
why did you do 3 in a row? Did they get stuck at the bottom and you never found it to pull them out of the washing
Correct,
machine?
yeah.
Oh my god.
They were dark blue.
Oh.
And so they literally, because I like to really spin out my wash, especially in the winter, and I think we can all agree a nice 1200 spin really makes a difference.
So they get stuck to the drum and you don't see them.
You don't see them, and yeah. And honestly, black is way easier to see than dark blue in the dark, everyone. Anyway, long story short, I need some new socks, and we have a huge selection of great sock yarn in the store, in my opinion. And I know that, Christine, you're not a sock knitter.
No, because it's in the round.
And
little wee needles.
Tiny needles, 2.5. But I really like knitting socks, and I find them super portable and fun. And I also like it because I have this tiny little project which is one of the ones that we do stock on the regular. Let me get its actual number. I'm very guilty of never saying the right number, and there have been some complaints. I got it right. This is a Project 4 in black. I don't have the tape measure holder attached to mine. I took it off because I was traveling with it.
Or AirPod holder.
Yes, not AirPods Pro though. Just as a side note.
Okay.
Not AirPods Pro or the new AirPods form factor. But anyway, the sock is great. I really, really love it. And I also like when you have a little thing like this that fits into your other bags, because this one fits into all my other bags, and you've got a little project in it. And I will say, you can fit 100 grams of yarn in here, and you could be knitting a one skein shawl. That'll be a fun segue for later.
Yeah.
We're really working this. We're exchanging
semi-planned independently.
Oh God! Like if only we had known. So yeah, and I'm using the Issayer sock, which is a blend of easy wash alpaca wool and recycled nylon.
Right.
Yeah. And it has the recycled nylon and the alpaca, just like the amble. It's a little bit higher angle of twist, more individual strands, and it's definitely not as soft. So if that's important, because sometimes for some people, soft is still important for hand knit socks. So I will say, if you're looking for the softest commercially available sock yarn that lasts really, really well that I've ever used and was a joy to knit with, amble is probably my highest rated sock yarn at the moment. However, I really like knitting with the Issayer, and I don't mind a toothier yarn, and I like having a variety of different socks.
It's
still
is
beautiful.
Softer than the commercially made merino socks that you can buy. Yes.
No, it's
so,
still like
don't think
nice
you're going to be
sock.
wearing hair of the dog on your feet.
No. Although my plan after that, I can't believe what I'm about to say, because so many people are using it who are coming in and out of the shop, and I thought I would just give it a try and check my biases, because if you don't take your own advice, how will you know it works, right? So before I go any further, I'm also going to stop and knit a pair of socks in an opal yarn. It's going to be so cute, right?
Yeah, it is. It's gorgeous.
I don't know why I picked this one. It's definitely not colors I would usually choose, but it's sock yarn, and I feel like with sock yarn you can kind of do whatever,
you can do weird things.
So I'm going to just knit a pair of plain stockinette socks in this and wear them and see what the fuss is about, because there are some really dedicated sock knitters who came in here and insisted that they would come in and buy opal if we stock it, and good Lord, do they come in. And I am so grateful, and I am so happy, and I'm going to keep building up our selection of opal. We have an even bigger selection than ever before, so please come in. I should also tell everyone, now is the moment if you need some mindful stuff. I don't know if Christine's just noticed it, but we have all of the sizes of the mindful tips and all of the sizes of the symphony tips in store. They are all online and ready to go.
And can I just share, this is not a paid advertisement, but the mindful tips, if you've got to use smaller size needles, they're great because they're a bit longer and Christine had to drop down to a 3.5 and a 3.25 because I won't drop below that millimetre needle. I changed the pattern from 3 to 3.25, and it's great for poking in and picking up, especially.
It is.
Yeah, it's fabulous. They're fabulous,
and they do work shockingly well with the silk mohair and another yarn held double. I will say, I must admit, I was very skeptical of the pointy tip, but it seems to be better than a blunt tip.
Yeah.
So I've tried. I must confess, if you're knitting with yarn held double, do not use the Addy interchangeables. I have gotten rid of all of mine because the way that their join works, it's a lock and click. And if you think that the other versions catch, oh my giddy aunt, nothing catches like those Addy ones. I have to admit, I've actually gone so far as to get a spare set of Chowgos instead.
Oh my god.
And interchangeables for myself because frankly, we do, I can admit, we do sometimes have some hiccups in the supply of the Mindfuls. We're one of the few shops that stocks them, so please, if there's Mindfuls or Lantern Moons that you want, that you're seeing online or in store, just pick them up. Or am I going to be in the shop around 4:45 on Monday? You know what, Guy, for you, I can be. I hope Kathy's watching and that someone will remind me. Please, God, someone remind me. I can't be trusted. I also should say, I knocked them over. We got some new things. Oh goodness, I should have opened one of them before. Oh my god, this is not a good idea, everyone. I should have picked this up before. We got some really interesting new stuff in from Knit Pro. They have decided to put out 2 mini interchangeable tip sets. So, for those of you who like a Knit Pro needle, and these are, I believe, less expensive, if I checked correctly, than the equivalent from Chowgoo, and they come as a wood option. So if you have been out there looking for wood mini tip interchangeables or metal rose and like multicolored metal tip interchangeables with a cute little bow case, like look at that. Knit Pro has really like stepped up the game, and this one's got a denim. Oh boy.
And I think those needle tips go up quite high.
They do. So this is specifically
so it's not just for sock knitters?
No, this is actually, these 2 sets are aimed at garment knitters. So these are sleeve needles specifically is what they're talking about. So these are from 3 to 6.
Wow.
So from 3 mil to 6 mil. They do skip 325, but honestly, as Christine's already demonstrated, you can just fudge it to a 3.
No, I do it 3 to a 325.
Yeah, but don't. That's not helping with the narrative that we're selling. There's no 325, Christine. No, but I do actually genuinely feel in most cases you can just go down or up.
Yeah,
like,
well, if you have it in a set, you're going to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
This is kind of the thing. I don't know if you've noticed that you knit more once you have all of the tools available all the time. And this isn't like a PSA to go out and spend heaps and heaps necessarily, except that these averagely cost less than 1 sweater quantity of yarn, and once you've got them, you use them. It's just what it is. So these are the Knit Pro Mini Bouquet and Denim Indigo Wood Mini Special Interchangeable Set, and they've really they've gone for it.
Well, the wood would be unique, wouldn't it? Because I've only ever seen the little metal.
Yes, you
tips.
can get little short tips needles that are wood on fixed, and you can get some really short, teeny tiny bamboo ones. But these, I believe, are the only ones that I've ever seen that come as a wood interchangeable. So, and they do say as well, especially for baby sleeves. I know that this is something that comes up a lot with the circular knitting, is the baby sleeve situation. Now, I just have to check one thing because the computer is giving us one message and I have it plugged in, so I just want to make sure we don't have a little hiccup. So those are coming in. Now, but Christine, you would never take part in that sort of knitting in the round.
Hell no.
So
it's knit flat. Baby sleeves would be knit flat.
If you were giving somebody like a gift though, instead of knitting them something small and tiny on circular needles, what would you knit? Well, I checked this battery situation.
Right, okay.
See,
now,
see how we did that,
we've
everyone?
been talking about the Antarctic shawl, so I thought I'd bring it in and show you. This is my one in a random skein that I had, and as you'll see, it's asymmetrical. So now I had the experience. I gave away that huge cabled knitted scarf during the week. Person was absolutely wrapped. Put it on. It was a guy, young guy. Put it on and looped it over the front. And it's like I had to step in and say, "Excuse me, this is how you wear it." And it's a bit like that with asymmetrical. When you give this to somebody, they pick it up and they're sort of, oh yeah, like this, and then they do the what I call the Granny McPhee, and it's like, hello, you're not 95. So this is very good.
How to style your asymmetric small triangular shawl.
And then, as I was just reading, the Air New Zealand new uniform has got what they call a tui knot at the neck.
Oh,
so
that is
and
quite
it says
touching,
it just adds a bit of chic to your outfit, and so you can just do that with your asymmetrical. So I've now given, when I give one of these to people, I now give them written instructions on how to wear it.
There
How
you go.
tragic's that? It's not like I'm a control freak.
I
it's
love
just,
it.
But it's just like, they put on with the triangle at the back and it's like, really, love?
Yeah.
You put all this work into it.
Cool.
Now, leading on to this, if you're in Christchurch for the long weekend
Yes.
for Easter or
Yes.
for Anzac, the following.
So we are open we'll be open from noon till our regular closing on Anzac Day.
Which is a Friday.
Which is Friday, because that's how we do that one, if I remember the hours correctly and how this
Or
works.
is it 1?
It might be 1.
1 o'clock.
It might be 1 o'clock. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm not from here. And then on Easter, we will be open on Saturday from 10 till 4 and Monday from 10 till 4, and closed the Friday and the Sunday. And yes, but
So you can
we will
come,
be here. Please
you
come
can
visit.
come in and
Oh,
shout yourself, park your non-knitting partner somewhere like Scorpio Books, or get them just
Yes.
to wander around town, or park them down at Riverside Market for something to eat or drink, and then you can wander down here
and grab
then-
yourself a one skein wonder.
Yeah, this says, I think the pattern says 360, but quite honestly, I don't like leaving a whole lot, so I just keep knitting until I run out of yarn. And the pattern does tell you how to extend it,
Yeah.
and you can do fun things, like I got a bit bored with just knitting it in one colour, so with the garter stitch, and then it's got yarn overs,
Amazing.
and it's so forgiving. You make a mistake, you join 2, do another yarn over to get to the count, and you can put in stripes if you want to, but
Yeah.
shirt yourself and have something snug
Totally.
as you want to remind you
The
of
dark
Christchurch.
omen's really beautiful.
Yeah.
The merino plus is super, super soft. We've got it in lots of great colors. And then we do also have this sells
Oh, yeah.
insanely well. So this is our Unicorn Tears. It's the shop costume color that I designed. We also do sometimes have cotton candy in stock. It tends to sell in garment lots though.
Right.
So we'll get like 5 skeins in, and then it'll all disappear at once after
Yeah.
a couple of months. But yes, these guys are all here and available. And we do also have like the Admora Angora. There's the
Yeah.
Albertine. There's no wrong choice
No.
anymore in this shop.
And I was saying
The
to
Wasp
Ethan,
collection,
even
the
getting
Issair,
the Tiffany
yeah,
with some silk mohair and holding 2 together, if you're feeling up to it and you want to do that, it gives such a gorgeous fabric. It's so soft. It'll be just gorgeous
yeah.
next to you.
Well, good news. Here's something I prepared
Oh,
earlier.
right. Oh, wow.
Boom. She's coming through, everyone. This is my interpretation because, and I just want to be clear, when you knit an Issair pattern, it is almost always your interpretation.
Yeah.
And that's on purpose. And if you just calm the farm,
Yeah.
just calm down and start knitting and make the kooky swatch.
Yeah, you do the swatch.
Always make the kooky swatch, okay?
Yeah.
And they will reveal weird things to you and be like, if you want to, and there's a lot of if-then instructions.
Yeah.
And I know that if-then can sound confusing, but essentially, overall, you're making 4 rectangles, roughly, and you're going to attach them in any number of ways, and they're basically just telling you, like, beginning and ending points. The middle is
Yeah.
up to you. And
It's
once you relax and you just start doing it, you're like, oh, well, yeah, once it gets as long as I want it, I'll change to the next pattern. Or once it gets to this point, I'll follow the neckline instructions.
Yeah.
And sometimes you read the instructions and you're reading them and you're like, I have no idea what's happening. And then you do them and you're like, oh, well, that worked perfectly. So don't panic is, I think, step 1. Christine, luckily, so Christine has been forging the way boldly
Yeah.
in Issair for all of us. And I decided to join you at the tip of the spear by casting on circles and dots and remembering notes that I had made from a previous project, that if I was going to knit one of their projects again, I would knit the whole thing flat, not just knit the top portion flat, because I found it really frustrating. And so even though it's making this a little bit slower going genuinely than it would be knit in the round, I'm really happy with the effect. On camera, especially now that I can see it, it looks amazing.
It's incredible up close.
And the texture on the fabric is just like,
it's just to die for.
I'm so sold. So
show them the bag.
Oh yeah, the back is pretty.
It's just gorgeous.
The back is pretty
see?
sublime.
Isn't the back gorgeous?
Yeah. So what I think we're saying is, for one thing, when they say you could knit it with this, or you could possibly knit it with this, and here's the approximate amounts of yarn you might need to make it. Yeah, that's literally, and then they tell you how many stitches to cast on for different shapes or sometimes sizes, and then they give you a bunch of different lengths that you can knit it to, and then essentially, like, just chill out and like start knitting, because
it's just let you create.
It really
creativity flow,
and you're gonna feel so great as you're making it, no matter which. And they have ones that are just knit and garter stitch, where you could just play with the fabric, like that windy one that I made. There's all sorts of great options. Do honestly go on an essayer deep dive, find one of their patterns to knit, and just jump in and knit it. You will not regret it.
They do patterns in the round for those of you that are firmly in the round. So
and we
don't
do
worry.
carry books.
Yep. So don't worry, it's not all knit flat. There
also are a lot of just like very creative ways of knitting.
Yeah.
Neither flat nor in the round, but all in one piece.
Yeah.
And
a la Natasha Hornsby.
Yeah, like you can really. I have to admit, you can tell that it's coming from an artistic perspective.
Yes, yeah, very much so.
Where people have had the time to refine and make it a craft. And I think that if you're somebody who's knit for a long time and you've got enough garments and you want something to like knit, I think this sort of stuff is where it's at. I will say, what the other thing I'm knitting is a garment for me personally. It's not the style of knitting that I really enjoy. And I'm glad that I've knit it, because it means that in the future, I will not be tempted to start things like this again. And I'm just going to put it onto another rest. It's going back on a rest for a couple of months, possibly.
Right.
Because it's just really kind of fatiguing to knit. Because it's gotten very heavy, quite honestly, and there's a lot happening. So this is Cote by Hiroko Payne. I'm just gonna hold it up a little closer so you can see the cable situation. To be clear, if you are somebody who loves a puzzle, and I mean this because there are knitters out there who love a puzzle. So if you're a lace knitter and you've been struggling because you've seen all these people knitting beautiful garments and you want to get in on it, but you don't know where to start because lace knitting is an intricate and enjoyable, beautiful art. The answer to your problems is my friend Hiroko Payne. You can tell that she is a lace knitter who can design and make garments in cables. And she has done beautiful lace work over the years. And lace knitters have a unique understanding of how to construct and build shapes. And when you apply that theory to top-down knitting, you do get something, I must admit, that is spectacular.
It is very.
And there is certainly no other way to make this. And even the front, with its pocketed situation in well-placed cabling and all of that, is quite effective and dramatic. Like, there's not an off note here. It's not that. I'm not complaining about any of this. It's certainly not the yarn. This is Cumbria worsted from the Fiber Company. It's just not the way that I like to knit. Like, bearing in mind, it took me 13 days to knit and block all of the pieces of Timberline. This has taken me months. And so I think the thing is, it's not a complexity problem. It's not anything else. If you are somebody who loves a puzzle, loves to knit something intricate, loves a cable, and you've been looking for the top-down knit that's for you, her patterns are definitely the ones, both Sode and Cote. If you need help selecting and substituting yarns for them, please get in touch. We are happy to advise you on how much Cumbria worsted to order for your Cote. It's definitely the perfect yarn that we have found, and we have that all available in pre-order. So there is that. Last, and I guess not least, if you're a Flock Online member, this is exciting for you. For the rest of the world, this isn't dry yet, so I can't finish the photography and get 2 of the patterns out because things are just taking a while to dry. So this just needs a little bit longer. It's just damp now. But this is my set and sleeve pullover in Robinson from Durare Nature. We're going to be getting this yarn in It's a DK weight. I believe it's a semi-woolen spun yarn that has about 30% recycled fibers. 28% of that is at least cotton, and the rest of it is Merino des Arts. It's super, super beautiful to work with. The finished fabric has turned out gorgeous, especially for a cotton wool blend. It's going to be drapey and comfortable. I've done a French seamed shoulder, which I think in person is quite effective.
Yes.
It just gives it that kind of look that you're seeing from a lot of top-down seamless knits. Good news, it's easy to do. When you jump in and do it on the pattern, knit from the bottom up and seamed, you're going to, I think, prefer it. It's really easy. I swear there are no tricks in this. The most difficult thing to do is an invisible increase. That's it. There are no short rows. There is nothing. There are only single decreases. There's no tricks.
Yeah,
okay?
It looks stunning.
Yeah, and so I think one of the big things that I'm trying to push out with my seamed knits at the moment to all of you guys is, like, really good pattern design is almost something you could work out yourself if you had the time to do the math. And that brings me to my final skiting of the week. The hood.
Oh, yes.
So I'm wearing a Sophie hood that I've been talking about. I really, really love it. I figured out a new way to style it today that turns it into the Sophie collar hood, which I really love. So this is the Sophie hood by Petite Knits. I've done this in the Essayer Soft. We've worked out that you only need 4 balls. I used 4 balls and I had about 20 grams left over. I was going to put giant pom-poms on it. I'm not going to anymore. I really love it the way that it is. It's comfortable with the hood on. My hair is looking especially good in person today, so I won't be putting the hood on. I'm sorry, everyone. And I forgot my earmuffs, which was a tragedy. But if you're sitting there and you're like, I want to knit the scarf because I don't necessarily want the hood all the time. Okay, here's the thing. The hood is really easy to deal with. You fold it down like this, and then you give it one extra fold. There we go. You tuck that collar portion at the back of your neck, and then you just wrap around once, and then the hood disappears. It fits perfectly, and it's super warm without adding
underneath
bulk.
the jacket. Yeah, perfect.
There you go.
There's something else if you don't want to do an Antarcticus.
Do a Sophie hood.
And
it's just garter stitch
knot.
cord. Yeah, sorry. Is it? Let's make sure that we're in the ensemble.
So you just have it just to one side. Yeah. Just for strategic.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we'll catch you next time on this Air New Zealand flight. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle. There are no exits. There's no way off. You're on it. You're screwed. Now,
now, what are you open next weekend for the people that are watching that are travelling to Christchurch?
We are open next weekend from 10 till 4 on Saturday. I will not be here. I will be here for a little bit, but I'm taking the day off. I will be doing this, and then we are open from 10 till 4 on Monday, and the hours are actually already on the website because I don't do that anymore, which means it happens on time, and that's better for everybody.
Yeah, so come and meet some of the flockers.
So yes, please, I will be here to hang out. I just won't be working, and then I will be going out for lunch, I believe. So, boom, there we go. All right, everybody, have a great week. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, my final PSA. We have a knit night every Wednesday from 6 till 8 here at the shop. Yes, it is full. Yes, there are lots of people. Please feel invited still. We will work it out. Don't worry about it. The other thing is that I'm going to be starting to do a rotating knit night at different local locations on a Tuesday. So every Tuesday, starting in about 2 weeks, I will give the list of the rotation out. You will be able to find me from roughly 7 till 8:30ish at a different local establishment that serves food and drink. If you have questions about your knitting and you live here in Christchurch, sometimes helping people at the shop isn't great because we're super, super busy now. So come and find me wherever I am, find a new local place, and join the knitting group that we're going to try to seed all over the city at different spots. I'm sure that they will take, as they always do. And my final PSA is please go join your local knitting group. No matter where you are, what you're doing, if you don't have one, start one. Don't make it online. Actually start one in person, right?
Yeah, very much so.
But please get together with your other local knitters. You will not regret it. All right, everybody.